This is just a really quick video just to talk through what our Year 5 relationship and sex education lessons will look like and what kind of activities the children will be learning and what our main objectives are going to be. So if we start by looking at what we will be covering, we generally do around 4 lessons. These lessons are taken straight from the Leeds Council PSHE objectives. So you can see here, these are the objectives from the document. And then we've just changed them into child-friendly objectives. So in lesson 1, we'll be finding out an overview of what puberty is and what are the key physical and the emotional changes. In lesson 2, we talk about menstruation. In lesson 3, we talk about how puberty affects boys. And in lesson 4, we talk about personal hygiene. So lesson 1, one of the first activities we do is we ask the children to label a picture of a boy and a picture of a girl with all the words and terminology they know for all the external body parts. And then what we do is, just so that we can see what they already know, we then talk with the children about what are the correct biological terms, which means that we're all using the same language. It's all very scientific, very biological, very factual. These are some of the vocabulary that we will be using. So as you can see, all the key scientific terms are there. Hopefully the children become more and more comfortable with using these words as we practice them more and more, as we use them more and more. And the aim is that they can just happily use all this vocabulary and understand what it means and relate it to human bodies. We'll also talk about the key changes. We generally do this kind of activity as a bit of a quiz, partly so that we can see what the children already know, and then we can see what we need to teach and what we need to focus on. And we talk lots with the children about when these kind of changes might happen, and how it can be very different for everybody. Lesson 2, we talk about the menstrual cycle, and we do lots and lots of work on what happens in each phase of the cycle. We label diagrams, we do some acting out and trying to make it really interesting, because it can be quite difficult to understand. And we also talk about how girls can get ready and what they can do. We bring in little packs like this so that all the children can see all the things they might need, and they can talk about it and they can ask questions. Lesson 3, we talk about what happens to boys. And we talk about all the key physical and emotional changes. We do lots of work around giving the children questions that they've got to try and answer by becoming the experts for themselves. They usually really like this kind of activity. And then in lesson 4, we talk about what causes all of these changes and about hormones and about things to do with how they'll need to keep extra clean or shower more often, and generally just what they can do to help look after themselves. So that's our lessons in a nutshell. Some of the resources that we use, you've already seen some of them, some of the worksheets that we use, but we also look at lots of video clips. So they're all cartoon based. We've got a Channel 4 DVD. There's a couple of websites that we look at, but these are all child-friendly cartoons. They're very engaging for children. I can show you one of the activities we might do. So this is from a website called Betty Education. If you want to have a look at this at home, you can sign up to this yourself. And there's lots of things on here. Things like, this is quite nice, where there are questions that the children can click on. And then when they click on a question, they get a panel of experts around their age or a little bit older who talk to them and answer the question for them. So that one's quite nice. There's lots of activities on this DVD where they just watch other children around their age, a little bit older, who are about to go through puberty or who have gone through puberty, and these children talk about their experiences. And then there's lots of cartoon diagrams to show the changes that will happen to children. So it's all very child-friendly, really great for the kids to watch, and they generally like watching these kind of videos. And we also have something called an Ask It basket, which is basically just a box where the children can put any and all questions in. We always say to the children they can put anything they like under the questions. They can keep it anonymous if they want, or they can put their name on. But we do say that there might be some questions they ask that we just can't answer. So For example, someone might say, okay, so how is a baby made? Now in year 5, we don't cover that. That's a year 6 objective. So we would say to that child, or would say to the class, if it was an anonymous question, that's something you need to talk about with your mums and dads or your parents or carers. So you might get some questions at home after our lessons. If we can answer the questions, if the questions fit in with our school policy and our year 5 objectives, then we'll happily answer them in class. And we make that really clear to the children at the start of every lesson that they'll have lots of questions and we will answer all the questions we can, but there might be some that we have to say, right, you need to go back home and ask at home about that one. Okay, so that is our RSE lessons in a nutshell. Hopefully that's explained a few things of what we do. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to get in touch and one of the year 5 team will get back to you and see if we can help. All right, thank you very much.